Microsoft's been making big moves lately with its foray into cloud gaming. Unlike other services like Google Stadia or Amazon Luna, the company's adamant on the fact that this is not a replacement for their console experience. With Xbox Game Pass Cloud Gaming heading to Samsung TVs, however, all of that's about to change. Does this new app have the legs to replace your console though? Well, keep watching and find out. First up, 2022 Samsung TVs will get Game Pass Cloud Gaming. Over the past couple of years, Xbox has been slowly pushing out its cloud gaming app to different platforms like PC, mobile, and even browsers. In fact, when some great games like Flight Simulator didn't release on last-gen hardware, Microsoft made sure to bring its cloud streaming tech to Xbox One consoles, so even those players could enjoy next-gen games without having to buy a new Series X console. However, the last piece of the puzzle was always going to be bringing these games to smart TVs. And with the release of the Xbox Cloud Gaming app on Samsung televisions, the console manufacturers finally made the big jump into the end game. Coming to Samsung smart TVs that launched this year and future models going forward, the Xbox Game Pass app will be available to users within Samsung's own separate menu called the Gaming Hub. Within this menu, you'll find other streaming services as well, like Amazon's Luna and Google Stadia. With that said, the star of the show's obviously the Xbox app here, as a $15 subscription gets you instant access to hundreds of games, including big first-party titles like Starfield and Forza Horizon 5. So, how does the Game Pass app work on Samsung Gaming Hub? Now, if you don't know what Xbox Game Pass is, think of it like Netflix, but for games. You pay a monthly subscription fee, and in return, you get all these games and some extra perks too. Plus, since cloud gaming's tied to the highest tier, Game Pass Ultimate, you'll also get the console and PC version of the sub, including Xbox Live Gold and EA Play. Of course, if you don't have those platforms, then there's no point. But honestly, you'd be surprised at how capable modern laptops have gotten at running games. Coming back to Samsung TVs though, all you'd have to do is head into the Gaming Hub and select the Game Pass app to use it. One thing that's worth noting, however, is the fact that this will only be available on Samsung's Neo QLED, other models above the BU8000 and the 2022 Smart Monitor series. So if you happen to buy, say, a BU7000, then you won't get the Gaming Hub software. Having said that, the good news is that you'll feel right at home if you do get the models that support it. Not only does the app run incredibly smoothly, but it's also got an amazing UI with everything that you could ever want out of the subscription service. For instance, you've got your recommendations, genres, categories, and all of that good stuff. Plus, hopping into a game's super easy too. All you do is connect any Bluetooth controller to your TV, like the Xbox controller or the DualSense, and launch the game. Yes, it's really that simple. Next, how well does cloud gaming even run on a smart TV? Since Samsung's Gaming Hub isn't actually out yet, there's no real way to test it in a natural environment. So we wouldn't blame you if you looked at Microsoft's marketing material with a skeptical eye. With that said, earlier this month, many people got to actually test Game Pass out on new Samsung TVs at Summer Games Fest. And let us tell you, most people were blown away. Seriously, the reception to the demo was so positive that it almost seemed too good to be true. In fact, some people even said that if they hadn't been told that they were booting into a cloud game, they wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Everything from the resolution and frame rate to the latency was pretty much flawless, which just shows how far Microsoft's come with this tech. On top of that, if you've been using Game Pass on your phone, you'd already know how much the service has improved over the past year or so. For instance, the jump to Series X server blades has made a ton of difference when it comes to lag. Also, Xbox is legit doing some wizardry with its algorithms, because honestly, most other cloud services don't even come close to it. Having said that, we don't know what the Summer Games Fest demo was running off of. Like, for all we know, it could have been hardwired, which most people won't do with their TVs. So there's definitely gonna be some difference between a controlled demo and real-world performance. And now, Microsoft is bringing your game library to the cloud. Playing games through the cloud is something that wasn't even possible a few years ago, and it's been truly a revelation to be able to jump into any Game Pass title without downloading it. However, that's also the caveat of this service right now, since it's only limited to the games within the Game Pass library. So, let's say you wanted to play Elden Ring through the cloud. Well, with this subscription, that's not really possible. You don't have to worry though, because Microsoft's always listening listening to fan feedback, and according to its corporate VP of Gaming Experiences and Platforms, Ashley McKissick, that feature's heading our way soon as well. So, in theory, you'll be able to hop into any game in your game library straight from the cloud. Besides, we've already seen some signs of that with the introduction of Fortnite, which doesn't even require a subscription to hop in through the cloud. Of course, that's not a one-to-one comparison, but you get the point. Obviously, there's always a little asterisk in the corner when it comes to these announcements. What's the drawback here though? Well, for starters, you won't get all of your games on the streaming app. According to Xbox, they're working on bringing as much of your library to the cloud, but can't guarantee everything to be there. But that's to be expected too. Like, seriously, is something like Tao Fang Fist of the Lotus even worth bringing back from the OG Xbox? Rest assured, if a game's still popular and being played, it's a pretty safe bet that it'll be playable through the cloud in the near future. So, what about people who don't have Samsung TVs? When it comes to smart TVs, everyone's got their own preferences. Some people like Samsung's QLED tech, while others can't get enough of LG's OLED sweetness. So, when Xbox announced that it was only going to support cloud gaming on Samsung TVs, it raised some eyebrows. Like, isn't the whole point of Game Pass to reach as many gamers as possible? Why limit your service to one platform then? You see, Microsoft's got a pretty great relationship with Samsung. Plus, they're also pushing their gaming hub, meaning that both companies have aligned goals, which is why the partnership makes a lot of sense. Plus, it's not like LG or Sony have anything equivalent on their TVs. But if you're still clamoring for some cloud gaming on your TV, then all you've got to do is wait, because Xbox is actually developing an xCloud streaming stick. According to reports, it's going to be like your usual Chromecast or Amazon Fire Stick and is going to plug straight into your TV to give you access to Game Pass and other smart TV apps. On top of that, it's also going to let you connect your Xbox controller directly without relying on Bluetooth. Of course, if that's not your cup of tea, then there's probably an app for other televisions in the works too. Hopefully though, it arrives sooner than later. Finally, Game Pass continues to be the Xbox's main focus. Alright, over the past few years, we've seen Xbox push its cloud tech a lot, despite having the smoothest home console experience out there. And honestly, it's a question that comes up a lot, especially for casual gamers. Like, what's the point of doing this when you could be making the big bucks by pushing your consoles? Well, if you look closely, you'll find that Microsoft isn't in the quote-unquote console business anymore. Instead, their main business models shifted over to Game Pass, and they'll do everything they can to allow users to access that service wherever they want. So at the end of the day, it's all about creating options. Whether you're on mobile, console, smart TV, or PC, they've got you covered. In fact, if Sony or Nintendo allowed Microsoft's subscription service on their platforms, we're sure Phil Spencer wouldn't hesitate to hop over there either. Seriously, just look at the Xbox showcases for the past 3 or 4 years. They've all been about Game Pass more than the console itself. Besides, it's not like they're losing any ground in the console market by pushing this narrative. If anything, the Xbox Series X and S are performing well beyond everyone's expectations and continue to evolve with new features like AMD's FSR 2.0. Now, whether they stick to this all-encompassing model after this generation remains to be seen. Like, for all intents and purposes, there's a good chance that cloud gaming tech evolves in the future to a point where we don't even need local hardware anymore. What do you think though? Does Xbox Game Pass cloud gaming have what it takes to replace the home console experience within the next decade? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.